This is Gabriel Gonzalez for Cage Side Press here with Jeff Novitzky, who gave out an astounding 10 USADA jackets today for 50 negative tests. Everyone's been passing, everyone's been declaring. I mean, I guess people have so many questions about the USADA program and everything else. Like, for yourself, when you look at all the athletes who commit to it, what kind of positive impact do you think it does have for the UFC and the sport overall?
Yeah, I think they're as positive of role models as you can find. Competing in one of the toughest, most strenuous sports in the world and doing it clean, showing that, if you're born with, talent and you put in enough hard work, you can become champion of the world, as several of those 50-time recipients have been.
Now, one of the most common things that a lot of the fighters come up with is the accessibility of the app. You got to give your schedule a long time in advance. It makes it harder for life spontaneously bringing stuff up that takes you out of your schedule. When you guys hear that kind of stuff, what kind of steps are taken? Like, is it just going back to the code and the development to help the athletes so, hey, you know what, you can live life, but you can still also obviously not get in trouble as you go along as a professional athlete?
That's a great question, and there is an app that at times can be a little bit challenging. We give our fighters other resources as well. There's a website they can go to. There's phone numbers, multiple phone numbers. Heck, I even tell our fighters, if you're having problems, just shoot me a text or a call and I can update for you. But that's probably the number one thing that we're working on, is to make this less burdensome on the fighters. Because you've got to imagine, I said up on stage today, when these fighters go on vacations with their families, when they go, visit family in another state, when they have obligations as a professional athlete, they're always expected to update where they're going. And I mean, that's difficult for me in my life, and I don't have anywhere near as busy life as a fighter, I'm sure for yours as well. So what the fans need to realize is these athletes put in a tremendous amount of hard work to be perfect and to be clean under the program and to keep their whereabouts updated. So part of this program is giving that back to them and giving them that recognition of how special they really are.
Like fighting tomorrow, for example, you got a guy like Cowboy Cerrone, you guys like Jim Miller who've been in the UFC for so long. Do you see, there's a lot of, now several 50 good test jackets. Do we see a day someone reaches 100? And will their jacket be different than these 50 ones?
Absolutely. So we've already got several approaching 75. And I think what we're going to do, it's going to be centered around the jacket. So similar to a Letterman jacket, we'll have a pin or a patch. But certainly more ceremonies like this. When we get to 100, certainly. I don't know very many, if any, professional athletes in any sports that have been tested 100 times, without any advance notice like our athletes are. So it's really special.
And my final question for you to let you go on. Obviously, USADA is one of those, it's like that double-edged sword when you hear it, like USADA, oh, it's clean, they're fine. And then we see the headline, someone didn't pass the test, and people have a lot of questions. What is the number one thing you would like to answer or let people know about USADA that you maybe get asked the most?
I don't think another organization could have launched this program like they did. We've got athletes in 53 countries of the world, and there's no requirement that you come to the U.S. to be tested. So you can imagine that logistical challenge when you have these fighters spread out all over the world and they're doing no-notice testing. I think they've done a wonderful job of doing that. It doesn't matter if you're in Thailand, at the top of a mountain in Russia, which we have had, those USADA drug collectors, it's their obligations, as long as that whereabouts is updated, to go out and find those athletes. And they have consistently done that, and it's pretty darn impressive.
Jeff, to many more good tests, a clean sport, and certainly just more great fight nights that go off without a hitch. Thank you for your time.